Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to today's vlog. Starting kind of late, it's 2 o'clock. About to go pick up Andrew, hang out with him for the day, or afternoon. I've been listening to Eminem's newest song, Untouchable, coming out on his new album, Revival, December 15th. So, let's go pick up Andrew. Alright, so I got Andrew.
Hey.
It's just so weird to look at how close the camera is.
I know, but it's like...
I already checked the shot, that whole seat is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's creepy.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Are those new?
No, these are the ones I've had for a while.
Oh, I just never paid attention to them.
I just haven't...
I hope you guys liked that transition. I decided to do that, which a lot of people do, but instead of a time-lapse to get here, because honestly, it wasn't interesting.
Oh, you're doing a vlog right now?
Yeah. I'm listening to Eminem's other song, Walk on Water, also part of his new album coming out.
The amount that he tells me, I didn't even know, like, this is the first time you've been vlogging where I'm there, where you didn't, like...
Just open the door?
Yeah, where I just...
Oh yeah, because you weren't coming over.
So what was it? So the first time I just showed up, second time I was bleeding. Was there even a third time? No, there wasn't a third time.
Yes, there was.
What was the third time? Did we even use that day? No, we didn't, because we went to McDonald's at like midnight, and then we didn't use that clip because there was nothing the next day.
I found that footage. No. I think I still have that footage. No, I deleted it. But I found the footage from the lost vlog. I'm debating on editing it, the bowling one.
Oh, you found it?
I didn't realize that when you put an SD card into my computer, at least, my Mac, and you delete stuff off the SD card, it keeps it in the trash. But then the moment you pull out the SD card, it's not in my actual trash bin, but you plug it back in, it shows up there.
Yeah, that's how
I never emptied it.
Yeah, that's how Windows are too.
I didn't realize that, which is stupid. I should know this.
Yeah, that's how Windows are too.
Yeah.
Really convenient, but also kind of sucks.
It sucks because it still takes up storage on the SD card and you
Yeah.
don't realize it.
That's why you gotta, empty the trash.
I should have done that before I left because I just deleted stuff off this.
I mean, it doesn't take up that much space. It takes up a lot less space than...
Well, yeah. But I didn't know that, and so I was going through and I found it all, so I'm debating on turning it into a vlog. The only thing is, it's kind of really iffy angles. We can review the footage later.
You will find out.
It's going to be titled The Lost Vlog, if I do end up uploading it.
So, 13 and Orchard, because that's where AutoZone is.
Oh, alright.
So, my truck is kind of having, problem with the coolant. The off-roading video that Devin edited for me.
Editing.
Well, it's gonna be
Well, by
done.
the time this is posted, it'll be done.
So, when I went off-roading, it wasn't because of me off-roading, but that's when the issue actually became apparent, because that's how things work.
There's no car from the left. Sorry.
Thank you. Because that's how things work. You push, your vehicle to an extreme, and all the problems
Start coming out.
which it was gonna be a problem eventually. I'm glad I found out now. The truck has 93,000 miles, and it has 93,000 miles, and it hasn't had an issue yet, a major one. So we're doing a coolant test to see if my coolant, that's what I bought, was a coolant tester, to see if my coolant is still good. I had to put a gallon of water because my coolant was running low and was causing my fans to blow like crazy, and it was causing my heat to not work properly because my radiator was low, and I don't know what's in there. There's some like gunk in the radiator. I'm getting it flushed on Tuesday, but currently the day that this video is being recorded is what, Friday?
Yeah.
So that's not for another 3-4 days. 3-4? What would that be? 4 daes? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 4 days until I get it flushed, and I have it's a 16 quart radiator and expansion tank, or not expansion tank, I should say, reservoir, whatever you want to call it. And if half of that is water, and then so now we're at 8 quarts of water, 8 quarts of fluid, of coolant, and then if we take the 4 quarts that I added in, so now we're at, if we were 4 quarts low of just fluid inside the radiator, now we were 2 quarts low of coolant and 2 quarts low of water. So now we added 4 quarts of water to make sure that I had enough water, or enough fluid to keep my heat going and to make sure that coolant was running through. So I have 6 quarts of coolant and 10 quarts of water. So I'm just kind of making sure that if it didn't get thinned out too much to the point where it does freeze. It got in the 15s last night, so the coolant, it didn't crack the block, luckily, but I want to make sure with this that it's, you know, it's still good and that it's not too thinned out.
So we're gonna go test it.
So yeah, surprisingly, this is gonna be a car vlog on your channel and not mine.
Yeah.
You recording?
Yep.
Yeah, this takes like no effort. So I'm a little scared here. So step back. If I burn myself, I'm but you know.
At least it's on camera.
Not popping. So that's good. That's it. That's all it took. It didn't pop. So that means it got cold in 45 minutes. That's actually really nice. But I think I'm really low. Holy crap. I don't know how low I am. Oh, it's like right here. Okay. I'm good. So how does this work? So make sure engine is cool, remove cap from the radiator extension tank, place rubber hose of testing, blank, I don't know why I just said blank, I meant to say tank.
While he's going over how this works, he used to have a cold air intake, but he had to take it off because...
It was running my engine lean, and I thought it was a vacuum leak because that was the recommendation that AutoZone gave you. By the way, if you work at AutoZone, you are not a mechanic. But that was the recommendation AutoZone was giving me. But actually, the engine was running lean because my MAF sensor wasn't overcompensating for all the amounts of extra cold air that was going in.
So yeah, he used to tune the truck for it.
So yeah, it's going to cost me about $200 for a tuner, which I don't exactly want to get because that's going to screw with everything else, especially my transmission, because the transmissions on these things are not the best synced with the engine. But it's going to cost me about, I don't even know how much it's going to cost me to dyno tune, and it's not worth dyno tuning for a cold air intake. My name isn't Street Speed 717.
But no, let's go out to, they live in Philly, right? Yeah. Let's go out to Philly and just go to DFR.
Pennsylvania. Is that
Pennsylvania? Yeah. Well, Philly is in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
By the way, do you have a charger? Or yeah, I know you have a charger.
Yeah.
Can I borrow it?
Yeah.
It's already low.
So, in. See how that goes?
That is disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, so it's good for negative 34 protection. Use 50% solution. 50. So it's good for at least 0. So it shouldn't get below that.
Yeah.
For a couple days. That's disgusting. Like, look at all this gunk.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in my tank, and this is disgusting too. Why does it keep sucking up more?
Because you're not far enough out.
Okay, let's go wash this out.
Yeah.
So we kind of like found out that the truck has a leak. Great.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm gonna pull it into the shop, or when I go to the shop tomorrow for work, I'm gonna pull up on a hoist. Hopefully. I just want to check to see what it is, to see how important it is. It's coming under. If any of you guys know anything about cars that's watching this, it's coming from the rack and pinion. That's what it looks like from the top, but like it's really confusing because I don't know why it's coming from the rack and pinion. Because if I screwed up my steering, well, I haven't felt it yet, so. And my heat is still blowing fine. My radiator isn't low on fluid. My coolant, my reservoir isn't low on fluid. I don't understand what's happening. It's not oil because the oil filter is tight. The drain plug is tight, and it's giving the same consistent. There's now 3 puddles, 2 at my house, 2 different ones at my house, and then 1 at his house because we just left his house. And they're all exactly the same how they're consistent on. I can do something harder.
Yeah.
Hear that I'm accelerating though, so they know I'm not trying to cut them off. Side note, guys, my dad started my truck last night to move it because I was about to take a shower and he was like, let me have your keys so I can move it. And I was like, okay. And it was the greatest thing I've ever heard. I've never actually heard this thing start. I've never heard.
Yeah.
So, dude, it was so loud.
Yeah, you just started it when you were coming over here. Well, to my place.
It wasn't that. See, it wasn't as cold as it normally is. Because it hadn't been started in a while. This morning, dude, when I started it, it normally only runs up to like a grand. Dude, it was going like 15. Hey, is that my? It's a Tesla.
Yeah, there's like one big one and then two small ones next to each other.
So, I'm just praying it's not my radiator. I'm not gonna lie, because if it's my radiator, it's a different situation. If it's radiator, well, then we're screwed. But it doesn't look like coolant either.
So I was editing the vlog from yesterday, editing a different one right now, but I realized two things. One, we never recorded an outro, and two, you might as well give an update on your truck.
Well, one, how often do we actually record outros? We always figured out 3 days later that we didn't record an outro and then recorded an outro.
Yeah.
So, actually this is only 1 day later, but the truck, put it on the hoist today to look at what's happening, and I found out that there was a transmission pan gasket leak, which kind of is a nice thing and a bad thing, because I was going to do a transmission fluid change anyway, but I wanted to do it the fast and easy way, which is just using a machine that my shop has to just change out the fluids. But now I got to do a gasket change, and I didn't want to have to take the pan off, but now that means I have to lift the truck up and take the pan off. As far as the coolant goes, there was coolant on my rack and pinion, which I don't understand why there was, but it looked like it was the lower radiator hose. And there doesn't seem to be any leaks coming out of the lower radiator hose, though. And I sprayed some brake clean and wiped it down with a towel, a rag, I should say, with a shop rag. And it doesn't seem like there's been any leakage again, and I drove it after I spread some brake clean and such, so I don't know what's going on. So tomorrow, which will be not tomorrow for this video, it'll be probably days before, but I'm going to my friend Ryan's house, Bad 300C.
Link in the
I'm going to his
description.
house, and he's going to help me look for any leaks of any kind and see what's happening.
So, in terms of it being, like, really bad or not too bad, or...
I don't know, because if it's leaking out of the block, which I hope to God it's not, the only option is a head gasket, because if it was anything else, I wouldn't be able to start the truck. The block would be cracked and be done. As far as a hose, I mean, that's not bad, but I don't know if it's a hose. I don't know if it's if it's a head gasket. I don't know if it's the radiator itself. So I can't say if it's good, or I can't say if it's bad or really bad.
And
So I don't know how hard it's going to be to fix the hose or the head gasket. It's the head gasket. I'm not dealing with it. I'm just going to give it to Tom Holzer.
And what about the transmission?
Transmission I'm going to end up doing. That's going to be really easy, but I'm going to have to do it on a day where the lead mechanic at my shop can actually stop what he's doing and help me, which I pay him to help me, but so that might not be for a little bit. But I also want him to confirm that it's the transmission pan gasket, because the guy that looked at it today isn't exactly the greatest person when it comes to deciphering problems with vehicles.
All right.
But there was definitely a leak of transmission fluid.
Well, that's the end of this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Andrew. Link for all his information, which is literally just his YouTube. I don't know
What
if
about my Instagram?
do you want your Instagram in there? Because it's not in yours.
Yeah, I should probably change that.
Alright, well, link for all his information that matters will be in the description. Go check him out. And, next vlog will most likely be with him. We'll see you guys next time.